40 pin DIP or as dual inline package, you are having it for these kinds of 8051 microcontroller. When you come across these kinds of controller, at present what you are seeing here in front of what I'm just holding in front of camera. So what all you are having? So basic storage consideration wise, if you consider what all you will be having it here. So 4 kilobytes of RAM storage and 128 bytes of RAM storage, ROM 4 KB, RAM 128. Then two 16-bit timers you are having it here. Two 16-bit timers you are having it. Then it consists of four parallel 8-bit ports. So these are ports 1, 2, 3, 4. So port number 0, port number 1, port number 2, port number 3, like that. Port 0, 1, 2, 3. So it consists of around four parallel 8-bit ports. So which are programmable as well as what addressable as per the requirement. So it is a different on-chip crystal oscillator. On this one is at present what you are seeing it here near camera. So on-chip crystal oscillator is integrated in microcontroller having crystal frequency. For this, if you consider crystal frequency, that will be around 12 megahertz. So these are the operations at present. If you consider four ports, as I showed you, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are four ports. Then crystal at present, whatever the crystal oscillator that is there here, that used to operate with 12 megahertz like that. So let us now discuss the architecture of basic if you consider 8051 controller. So in the present, if you consider, there is one diagram here. So if you consider this diagram, you will be having what? There will be a CPU and there will be a bus control at present what you are seeing in there in this block diagram. So on chip RAM or also for a program code that used to make out with that used to communicate with the bus control. And you will be having, as I told, 4 I/O ports. So they are just made up because the bidirectional communication that used to happen on chip RAM. So along with that, if you just come towards right, you will be having external interrupts, interrupt 0 or interrupt 1, several interrupts that used to happen. So these kinds of interrupts, the signals will pass immediately when that interrupt occurs. So interrupt control, again, central processing unit and oscillator, then whatever the address that used to make out and that used to operate with 4 to 30 megahertz like that. So towards right, if you come across, whatever side, right side you are having, the serial port is connected with the counter input timer 0, timer 1, etc. like that. So the major intention, the system bus consists of 8-bit data bus, 16 address bus and bus control signals. And all other devices, like if you consider, as I told, program memory, port, data memory, then serial interface, interrupt control, timers, and CPU, all are interfaced together through a system and a system bus. At present, if you consider, at present, whatever the data memory we are having, whatever the serial interface, whatever they used to make out serial communication. So program memory, what we just made out with, then timers, then CPU, all are interfaced together to form what a system bus. And coming towards the next slide. So this is what a pin configuration was, a pin diagram. If you consider any pin, okay, any controller, if you consider, you will be having pin configuration for that. So why this controller? Why can't other, like if you just if you ask, this is a basic one. After that, they just implemented according to their application purpose. So if you come to know these kinds of controller, also basic types of controller, so other enhancement, or what you are going to learn in hands-on, that might be a SOC, that might be a controller. So you will come to know almost all the configurations that used to happen, also that it has been, or else the evolution they just made out, or else according to a few concepts, as I told. Or else there are like if you consider cost wise, if you consider power wise, if you consider application wise, so there are so many specific tasks that used to make out these kinds of controllers. So to make those things, the basic ones are these actually. So at present, if you consider pin diagram for 8051 microcontroller, so we'll be having how many 1 to 50, and in that they just made out the port 1, port 1.0, 1.1. So port 1, whatever the 8 pins are there, so they just connected with. At present, you can see port 1.0 to 1.7. Similarly, if are having 0.0 to P0 7 like that. if you just consider right side, that is nothing but from pin number 39 to 32, then pin number 40 is a VCC. Then like that, you are having P P0, P1, P2, P3 like that. And apart from that, whatever you're having other configurations like where the VCC or else where the ground or else where the VPP or else ALE that is to be enabled or else Xtal or as Xtal 1, Xtal 2, all the pre-configurations they used to make out there. So one by one, we'll just come to know. Pin number 1 to 8, if you consider these pins are known just for port 1, and this port does not serve any other function. So it is initially pulled up bidirectional I/O port. This is so pin number 1 to 8, if you consider. So here you can just make out pin number, or also pin number 0 to 1 if you just make out it. Like from my left side to right side like that if you just consider. So these almost 1 to 8 like if you consider from here to here, right corner from top to bottom like that if you just consider 1 to 8, 1 by 8. So they used to make out, or else it is internally pulled up and bidirectional IO port you are having here for this pin number 1 to 8. Similarly, pin number 9 if you consider, whatever pin number 9 that is there, so that is nothing but a reset. Then next to that, pin number 10 to 17 if you consider. Next to that, almost after considering pin number 9, if you just consider below 10 to 17 like that. So these pins are known as a port 3, and this port serves some functions like interrupts or as a timer input, control signals, serial communication that used to happen on signals, whether that is the RxD or PXD. So based on communication that used to make out whatever that is there in port 3. Then port 1819, sorry, pin number 1819 if you consider in that below. So these pins are used for interfacing an external crystal to get the system clock. So to get a system clock, very important. So if you see interfacing units or else whatever the models that you are interfacing, they should have what the same clock speed. If they are having same clock speed, then only we can get to readings. Or else if I am running with some speed, and if they are running with some other speed, so if those speeds are not matching, then what will happen? Almost again there will be some errors. So you can't get the reading. So to make out whatever the system clock wise if we consider, or as a baud rate wise if we consider, so almost all these things we should need to keep it in our mind. Then pin number 20 if we consider, this pin provides the power supply to the circuit. So pin number 20, that is last one, the pin provides a power supply to the, sorry, here, okay, this pin number 20, even almost if you consider here, this it used to okay, power supply to the circuit, and pin 21 to 28 if you consider, so these pins are known as a port 2. So pin number, I'm just considering from this side actually, so from this 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 like that. So next to that, next alternative to that, if you just consider 21 to 28 like here, so these pins are actually they just belong to port 2. It serves as a IO port, higher order address bus signal, and are also multiplexed using this port. Then above that again, so if you just increase, this is what a PSEN also pin, which stands for programs to enable, PSEN, and it is used to read a signal from external program memory. Then next to this, you are having EA pin, which stands for external access input. It is used to enable, disable the external memory interfacing, and you just make a, if you just move with above, what will happen? Pin number 31. This is ALE address latch enable. That is nothing but, so it is used to demultiplex the address, the data signal of port. Then finally towards end, if you just move towards top of that, 32 to 39, these pins are what known as a port 0. It serves as what again IO port, over order address, and data bus signals are multiplexed using this port. So finally, the pin 40 again provides a power supply to the circuit. So these are a few actually few pins what used to make. Similarly, if you consider any controller like it might be if we consider Arduino based 80 mega 328 again that will be having separate pin configurations. We will be having analog pins, digital pins, and whatever the external like communications we are planning to make out again transmitter, receiver. So like that you are having different configurations and the pins they used to make out for they used to make out for specific applications. Next, if you move it 8051 microcontroller have almost 4 IO ports as I told 0, 1, 2, 3 like that each of how many 8 bit and which can be what configured as an input or output. Hence total 32 input output pins allow the microcontroller to what connected with the peripheral devices. So how many ports, how many pins are available at the end. So they are nothing but what you just make out for application purpose. Like if you consider how many pins, how many analog pins which are available in our basic Arduino controller or else Arduino Nano if you take Arduino Mini if you take Arduino Mega if you take. So they almost used to make out input output pins allow microcontroller to be connected with the peripheral devices. So that is nothing but for application purpose you can just make those things. Then pin configuration wise, that is a pin can be what configured as a 1 for input and a 0 for output as per a logic state. And if you come across pin configuration, you will be having input, output, or as a IO pin we used to call it as. Here, what happens? All circuits within the microcontroller must be what? A microcontroller must be connected to one of its pins, except the P0 port that wasn't what initially 1 to 9 watt pin configuration what we are having it there. So port P0. So because it does not have what pull-up registers built-in pull-up registers that they don't have, and input pin-wise, if you consider logic one is applied to a bit of a P register. So what happens? The output F transistor is what turned off, and other pin remains connected to a power supply voltage over a pull-up register. If we just make out with a high resistance. Then P0 port 0 if we consider P0. So port is characterized by two functions actually. So when the external memory is used, then the lower address byte or else address A0, A7 is applied on it. Else all bits of this port are not configured as a input or a output like that. Then when P0 port is configured as an output, then other ports consisting of pins with the built-in pull-up resistor connected by what? Connected by its and to power supply certain like present what operating power supply they are having 5 volt power supply. The pins of this port is what have this resistor left out if we just consider with the P0. Then input and output configuration wise, if we consider what then this input configuration, if any pin of this port is configured as an input, then it can act as what it can act if it floats. That is, but the input has unlimited input resistance and in determined potential they used to make out. Similarly, output configuration wise, if you consider when the whatever the pin that is there is configured as an output, you are just making it. We are having a few sensors like analog or digital or else, so those kinds. Whenever just want to make a input configuration for those, output configuration for those, so we need to consider these things at present. So when the pin is configured as an output, then it acts as what open train and by applying logic 0 to port bit. So we need to have what logic 0 for that port bit. Then appropriate pin will be what? Appropriate pin will be connected towards ground and applying a logic 1. The external output will keep on floating. So whenever the applying logic 1 will happen, almost the external output will keep on floating. So in order to apply logic 1 or else logic 1 is nothing but what? Logic 1 is input 5 volt. That is nothing but output you are just supplying it according to application. Or else if you are having few sensors, they should be turned on with the help of microcontroller And that microcontroller, what microcontroller will have it, that should turn on that sensor only for a specific application. That is nothing but what if the gas or else a gas volume or else like propane kinds of or else a methane kinds of gas, they come into existence of the surrounding part is there. No? So whenever they just surround that area or else that location during that time, so whatever the level that is there, threshold level that is there, or else if it comes towards some exceeding threshold level, so during that time it should make what it should apply a logic one. So because of with the help of that, if that sensor is working with the 5 volt, what will happen? So that will enable that sensor, so that sensor can sense or else it can realize and application based things according to what if smell is coming, it should be what it should space whatever the critical measurement has to be analyzed during that time. So it is necessary to build an external pull-up registers for those things if you consider. And port 1, similarly port 1 if you consider, port 1 is a true IO port as it does not have any alternative functions as well as we are having it in P0. But this port can be configured as a general IO, input output if you consider only, and it has a built-in pull-up resistor and is completely compatible with the TTL circuits. Almost TTL circuits, they are compatible with port 1 and port 2. If you consider, port 2 is a similar to port 0. Whatever present we have seen is P0 is similar when the external memory is used, and pins of this port occupy addresses intended for what external memory chip-wise if you consider, or else this port can be used for a higher address byte with addressing if you consider 8 to 15, there is a limit A8 to 15 like that. When no memory is added, then this portion can be what used as a general input output port, similar to what port 1. There is nothing but a true IO ports what as it does not have. Like that, we can just alter this port 2. So P0, P1, P2, then the last one, that is nothing but a port 3. So in this port, functions are similar to other ports, except that the logic 1 must be applied to appropriate bit of whatever the port P or P3 register you are having. So pin current limitations wise, if you consider in this, when pins are configured as an output, that is nothing but logic 0, logic 1, like that. So if you consider that is logic 0, if you consider for output, then the single port pin can receive a current of 10 milliamps. Similarly, if you just consider any model, so almost there will be what pins can receive current. So that here it used to make output. If you consider the basic one, 8051, it used by Intel, they used to receive a current of around 10 milliamps. So when these things are configured as an input, that is a logic 1 if you consider. So doing that, then built-in pull-up registers provide a very weak current and but can activate up to what 4 TTL inputs of LS series in that if you consider, also design constraint wise if you consider. So if all 8 bit of ports are active, then a total current must be what limited to again almost 8 bit, almost port 0, 1, 2, 3. If you consider all 8 bit of port are active, then the total current must be what limited to 15 milliamps. So port P0 if you consider almost 24 milliamps. If all other 32 bits are active, then the total maximum current must be what limited to 71 milliamps. Almost all ports with 71 milliamps like that. With the port 1 or the port 0 like that, if you consider also specifically if you just consider with the P0, almost it used to what correct must be limited to 26 milliamps like that in basic controller. So they are nothing but port configurations and the pin numbers and how they used to operate with and what is the oscillation frequency that used to keep it in our mind. Then if we move towards interrupts, interrupts are what, as we know, are other events that temporarily suspend the main program, pass the control to control to the external source and execute the task actually. So you want to suspend temporarily what you are planning to run, and instead of that pass a controller to the external source and execute the task. So certain whenever the accidental or whenever you want to make out certain when the main program is running, during that time almost interrupts that used to happen and pass the control to the external servers. What will happen with the help of this? Execute their task, whatever you are planning to make out in between, whatever the main program that is running. So it then passes the controller to the main program where it had left off. And basically, if you consider 8051, 5 interrupt signals, interrupt 0, TF0, interrupt 1, TF1, R1, T1, like that. And each interrupt can be enabled or disabled by what? Disabled by setting bits of IE registers. And the whole interrupt system can be what? The whole system can be disabled by clearing the EA bit or whatever the EA bit you are having of the same register. Then first one, if we consider at present IE or interrupt enable wise, if we consider register. So this register is what responsible for enabling and disabling the interrupt. And EA register, if you consider, so EA register is a set of one of enabling interrupts and a set 0 for disabling the interrupts. And its bit sequence and their meanings at present they are shown here: EA, ES, ET1, EX1, ET0, EX0, like that. So EX0, almost EX0, IE dot 0, like that, whatever they just configured here, enables disables external interrupt 0. If you just come out with the interrupt 0, so it used to take care of interrupt 0. Similarly, ET1 if you just consider, so or as IE.1, like that, if you just pronounce that, enables disables timer 0 overflow interrupt. Whenever the overflow that used to happen with the timer 0, so enables or disables almost to hold whatever the conditions actually they should satisfy during that case. So used to enable disable timer 0 with respect to. Similarly, with respect to timer 1, if you consider, instead of ET0, we'll be moving out with the ET1. So that is a different IE3, enable, disable, 0, 1. Like you need to what? You need to assign, also while writing code, you need to just mention. Then according to conditions, it used to switch, it used to enable, disable the interrupts. So interrupt 1, if you consider EX1. Similarly, and to enable disable timer 1, we used to go with the ET1 IE.3 and enabling disabling with the timer 0, ET0, and reserved for feature use these two pins, whatever IE5, 6 you are seeing it here, and EA, whatever the IE.7, disable all interrupts actually. When EA0, no interrupt will be acknowledged, and when EA is 1, enables the interrupt individually. So that can be enabled, or else enabling the interrupt individually. The EA plays a very important role here. This is nothing but interrupt enable register. Similarly, if we just proceed with the interrupt priority register, IP register, if we consider here, we can change the priority levels of interrupts by changing corresponding bit in the interrupt priority, like IP register. And at present, what you are seeing it here in this figure, bit 1, bit 2, bit 3, bit 4, bit 5, bit 6, like that, bit 7. PX not you are having, PAT not you are having previously what was seen. Same in that way, you are having PX not, T not, X1, T1, up to there is nothing but whatever the priority used to make out, like at present what you are seeing it here in this figure. So a low priority interrupt can only be interrupted by what? Interrupted by the high priority interrupt, but not interrupted by another low priority interrupt. So we need to again we need to care here. Just keep it in mind. But what happens? But not interrupted by another lower priority if you just want to make out. So if two interrupts of a different priority levels are received simultaneously, again what happens? The request of higher priority level is served. During this case, two interrupts which are having simultaneously, if it gets during that case, different priority levels are received. During that case, request almost towards higher priority level is served during that case. And if the requests of the same priority levels are received simultaneously, then again internal polling sequence determining they used to take care. Which request is what according to that they used to serve whatever according to their request. That signal will be passed through, like. And at present, if you consider Px naught or as IP dot zero, so it defines what external interrupt of zero priority level, and IP dot one, if you consider also PT naught, it defines what the timer zero interrupt priority level. Similarly, PT1 determines the timer interrupt of was first priority. Then PX1, if you consider, it defines the external interrupt priority level. Similarly, previously what we have seen, it defines the serial port interrupt priority level. If you consider IP.4 PS, then reserved whatever IP5 and IP.6, whatever things we are having, they are reserved for future use. It's nothing but interrupt priority. And you are having, apart from this, TCON register. The name TCON register, you specifies the type of external interrupts towards microcontroller. And few more things actually, the general peripherals, what they used to make out as these things will be discussed by tomorrow. One more resource person. Then the 8055A is a general purpose programmable IO device designed to what? Designed to transfer data from IO to what? IO to interrupt IO under certain conditions as required. So it can be what? It can be used with almost any microprocessor if you consider. And it consists of what? Three bit direct bidirectional IO ports, almost around 24 IO pins, which can be what? Which can be configured as per requirements. So almost, if you consider with the processor, they used to make a very almost application pathways to transfer what is general purpose programming IO devices used to make. Next, if you consider the next part, apart from this microcontroller architecture, I need to cover memory organization. So this one is the 8051 memory organization. So here, if you consider 8051 microcontrollers memory, it is divided into program memory and a data memory. And program memory, if you consider, as we know, ROM is used for permanent saving program being executed, while a data memory is used for what? Temporary storing and keeping whatever that used to make out intermediate results and variables available. And program memory, or else whatever we used to call it as RAM, ROM. So ROM is used for what? Program memory is used for permanent saving program. There is a code that has to be executed or is being executed. The, the, this memory, or else the memory is here that is only read, and depending on the setting made in compiler. So program memory may be also used to store what? Constant variables if you are having. And here, if you consider 8051, executes programs stored in the program memory only. And code memory type specifier is used to to a program memory. And 8051 memory organization allows external program memory to be added. And here, what happens? How does a microcontroller handle external memory depending on the pin or whatever EA logic, or else we used to make out pin numbers, enable, disable external memory interfacing that we used to call it as. So EA logic state like that. We consider how they used to handle that. We are seeing it here. So we will be having external ROM memory, 64K maximum. Then additional ROM, if you consider memory, again 64K maximum, and we will be having addressing from 4000 X format. Then addressing modes till where they used to start with 4000, then FFFF hex, whatever the address they used to make out, and hex addresses they just make out with the EA pin 1 and EA pin 0 if you consider below. So they used to make out from way to way. So address 000 hex like that. You can see towards right side. So external ROM, that is nothing but the external ROM memory, additional ROM memory what you are having. So embedded ROM with the memory of 4K, we just addressed here, and address 3FFF hex again way to way 0000, then 3FFF, then 4000 FFFF like that. We used to consider few addresses. Then internal data memory, if we consider up to 256 bytes of internal data memory are available depending on the 8051 derivative. Then locations available in the user occupy addressing space from again 0 to 7FH. That is the first 128 registers, and this part of RAM is what divided into several blocks as if you consider 0 to 3F. Like the first 128, if you consider bytes of internal data memory, are both directly and indirectly addressable here. And the upper 128 bytes, if you consider the top 128 bytes, if you consider of whatever the data memory value, will be given from 0x80 to last one 0xFF, like that. If you consider, can be addressed only indirectly during this case, whatever the upper 128 bytes you are considering here. Since what happens, internal data memory is used for a call stack also, and there is a only 256 bytes split over a few different memory areas. Fine utilizing of this memory is what crucial for a fast and compact code, or else, where you are just making out with so quick response where you are planning to get. So that will not happen actually. So crucial for a fast and compact code. And memory block wise, if you consider in the range of 20H to 2FH, like that, is a bit addressable, which means that each bit there has what its own address. They used to have from 0 to 7FH, like that. Here, there are 16 such registers, and this block contains a total of 128 bytes with separate addresses. Bit 0 of byte 20H has a bit address 0, and next to that, if you consider uh, a bit 7 of a byte, if you consider 2FH has a bit address of 7FH, like that. Uh, so if you consider one more things related to these three memory type specifications can be used to refer to the internal data memory, data, I data, B data, like that. This is not at present if we consider access by what direct and indirect addressing. At present, what you are seeing 128 key locations, what you are having it in this RAM memory, and access by direct addressing. Access by direct addressing, there is nothing but a special function registers. What I used to call it as. They used to make out from way to way F hex to 80 hex, as I told. So access by the direct addressing, and towards right corner, if I consider there is nothing but access by indirect addressing, you will be having 120 plus 123 locations here. So access by indirect addressing, and first one initially, if you consider access by direct and indirect addressing, what you are having 83 registers from 7F to 2FX, how they just concluded previously for this 8051. Uh, 7FX to FX, you will be having 83 registers. Then again from 2F to 1F hex, if you consider, again 16 bit addressable registers, like that. And bank 0, bank 1, 2, 3, like that. You will be having set up from 1 F hex to 00 hex, like that. So this is a RAM configuration, also RAM memory, how this is just splitted with whatever the addresses you are seeing in there. And external data memory wise, if we consider, so access to external memory is what is slower than access to internal data memory. It's correct. So there may be up to what there may be up to 64 bytes of external data memory, and several 8051 device whatever they used to provide on chip extra space, and that is what accesses with the same instructions as a traditional external data space. So this external space is what typically enabled by what proper setting of again if you just move with the SFR special function register, and overlaps the external memory space. You just make out. So setting of that register must be manually done in code to make that also to just set it that you are doing it manually. So before any access to external memory or external space that is made. Then Micro Pro for 8051, if you consider, has a two memory types of specification that refers to external memory space, X data, P data, like that. And SFR, as I told, the 8051 provides 128 bytes of memory for special function registers. And the special function registers are a bit, a byte, or also word size registers that are used to control timers, controller counters, as serial IO port IO input output, then peripherals like that. We can control almost all these things. Then after this memory organization or else organized path, what we have seen here, external data memory wise, if you consider, then uh, they used to make out with SFR memory wise if you consider, or else a location of address wise if you consider, internal memory wise if you consider, internal data memory wise if you consider. So almost field specifications how they can be accessed, or else, which address locations will be free like that we consider. So next to this, is nothing but addressing modes of 8051. So addressing modes in the sense what how you want to push whatever values you are having, or else how the code, that whether that code is direct code or else indirect code, or else that is address based code, which address or else which path you are trying to move like that you will be having, whether that is what register based or also that is indexed based like that. We need to know few more things here. So in 8051, there are 1 byte, 2 byte instructions, and are very few 3 byte instructions are present. The opcode are what? The opcode are 8-bit long. So as the opcode are 8-bit data, there are around 256 possibilities. 8-bit to the power, 2 to the power 8, 256 possibilities. Then among 256, 255 opcodes are implemented here, and the clock frequency, as we know, that will be again remained as the same 12 megahertz. So 64 instruction type are executed in just 1 microsecond. And rest are what? Rest are just 2 microseconds they used to execute it. The multiplication and division operations, if you consider, take 4 microseconds to execute. And the 8051, if you consider, there are six types of addressing modes. First one is what? First one is immediate addressing mode. Second one is a register addressing mode. Third one is a direct addressing mode. Like that, you are having a register indirect addressing mode, then indexed addressing mode, implied addressing modes, like that. You are having most of the six types of addressing modes. So how they used to, or is what they used to do actually, if you consider one by one these kinds of addressing modes, we'll see here. Immediate addressing mode, if you consider, again as we know, immediate addressing. Immediately, or else you want to make out once data is provided into what, into instruction itself. So that data you are immediately moving towards where that has to be moved with the accumulator, or else where you are planning to move that. So the data is what provided immediately after the output. So these are what some examples of immediate addressing modes. So in these instructions, if you consider immediate, that doesn't as symbol what you are seeing it here, symbol is used for immediate data. So in the last instruction, if you consider, there is what, there is DPTR, or as a data pointer. We used to call it as data. TR used to stand for data pointer. Using this, it is what it points to the external data memory location. So external data memory locations can be pointed out or with the help of DPTR. And in the first instruction, the immediate data is what is AFH, and but one is what? But one is 0. 10 we're having is added at the beginning. So when the data is starting with the A to F, the data should be what? The data should be processed by 0. There is nothing but what? Immediate that is to take care of, or else that has to be transferred. Like. Second, if you consider a register addressing mode, in this code register addressing mode. So whatever the source or destination you are having, the data is maybe present in a register, if you consider, or else it may be there, or else you are planning to move what data you are having there. Let's say. So in the register addressing mode, the source or destination data should be present in the register. There's a limit from R0 to R7 if you consider. So those registers will be having data, and these are some examples of register addressing modes. If you consider move A comma R5, move R2 comma move R2 comma hash of 45H. If we consider whatever at present we are moving 45H, then move R comma 0. So Like these are few things which are relating with the direct register addressing mode. Then in 8051, if you consider, there is no instructions like move R5 to R7 like that. So register, whatever they used to transfer with. So we don't have any of these kinds of coding here. And but we can get the same result by using uh, uh, with some again we are going to shift that whatever values we are having or whatever the data you are having. So we'll shift with some address. Then you will get it in that address again. We shift to other like that. So how that happens? You are moving with R5 to 07H and or by using move 05H with R7 like that. You will just shift whatever data you are having, and according to that, you will transfer with the help of whatever addressing modes you are having there. But these two, what present if we consider move R507H and move 05R7 if we consider, will work when the selected register bank is RB0. So even we need to what we need to select register banks. Otherwise, again, they will operate. So to use another register bank and to get the same effect, so we have to add the starting address for that of whatever the register bank with register number that is there. So for example, RB2 is selected. So and we want what we want to access R5. So then the address will be what 10H plus 05. That address we need to add when we need to proceed. So it will reach that address and it will transfer or else it will get data like that we need to make it. So instruction will look like a move 15H R7. So here 10H is what starting address of register bank to be considered. In next one, direct addressing mode. Again, the name itself is direct addressing. So direct address, you are shifting whatever the data that you are planning to make. In direct addressing mode, the source or destination address is specified by using 8-bit data in the instruction, and only the internal data memory can be used in this mode. Here, what happens here? Some of the examples are present to 80H, R6, R2, 45H, or it's R0, 05H, like that. So the direct addressing mode used to make a source or destination address is specified and using what? Using 8-bit data, and they used to make. So in the first instruction, if you consider, we'll send the content of register R6 into port 0. Port 0 is nothing, but they used to mention the port address of port 0 to 80H. So I will send the content. What you are having, that content will be sent to 80H like that. So address of port 0, P0. Then the second case, if you consider the second one, forgetting the content from 45H to R2. The third one is used for to get the data from a register R5. That is nothing but register bank 0 is selected there. So you have to get data from register I5 to register R5. Then next to that, register indirect addressing mode. So in this mode, what happens? The source or destination, if you consider address, is given in the register. By using register indirect addressing mode, the internal or external address can be accessed. So what happens? The R0 and R1 are used for 8-bit addresses, and the data pointer, that is, but the DPTR is used for a 16-bit addresses. That is, apart from 8-bit address, if you are just moving ahead with a 16-bit address like that. So during that case, data pointer will be used, and no other registers can be used for what? Can be used for addressing purpose. And let us see some examples if you consider like that. So move 0if at the present what we have written here, and the rate are not like that. Move at the rate R1, 80H like that. So the instructions at symbol what you are considering is used for registering that addressing. And in the first instruction, it is showing that what R0, what you are having, R0 register is used. If the content of R0 is 40H, then that instruction will take the data which is located at the location 40H of the internal RAM. So in the second one, if you consider the content of R1 is what? The content of R1 is 30H. If then it indicates that the content of a port P0 will be stored at location 30. The same whatever the internal RAM you are having. So next, a few more cases if you consider move x8, comma at the r1 or move at the dptr at accumulator like that. So in these two instructions, the x in the move x indicates what the external data memory, and the external data memory can only be accessed in a register indirect mode. So in the first instruction, if R0 is holding 40H, then accumulator also A will get the content of the external location 40H. And in the second one, the content of A is overwritten in the location pointed by DPTR. So like that, register indirect or addressing modes they used to operate with. So these are almost register addressing modes that used to operate with. Last two, if I just come across, index addressing mode and the implied addressing mode. Here what happens, index addressing mode, as I told, the source memory can only be accessed from a program memory only. The destination operands is always register A. So these are some examples of indexed addressing modes at present what they have shown. Move CA, comma, at the rate A plus PC, move CA, comma, at the rate DPTR like that. The C is what? C is move C instruction refers to code byte actually. So as a move at the rate plus PC, move at the rate A plus DPTR like that it should be. But C actually they used to refer code byte. So for the first instruction, let us consider A holds 30H and a PC value is around 1125H. So the content of a program memory location should be there almost 1155. So 30 plus or the 1125 like that if you consider. So 115 should be the location of whatever the program memory location you need to consider, and are moved towards register A. Here in this indirect indexed addressing mode. So next, the last one, if you consider implied addressing mode. So in the implied addressing mode, what happens? There will be some often like these types of instructions can work on a specific registers only if the other is satisfied with the specific registers. And these types of instructions are also known as register specific instructions. And here are some examples if you consider RLA, swap, whatever the swapper they used to call it as. These are one byte instructions actually, RLA like that. So the first one is used to rotate the accumulator register content to the left if you consider RLA, rotate left like that. The second one is used to swap the numerals in A, whatever the RLA in A that used to swap. So during these kinds of cases, we are going to use implied addressing modes like that. So next, the last one actually, programming in assembly and embedded C like that if you consider. So as of now, we just move ahead with the assembly or else assembly language, how they used to operate and what are the specifications involved with like that. I will just consider a few things here. Later, or else after a break, then I will just continue with the embedded C. So high level and assembly level if we consider it. So as we know, high level languages are what more programmer friendly. So they used to make more programmer friendly and more ISA dependent. There is instruction set architecture if we consider. So more instruction set architecture independent there. And if you consider each high-level statement translation or as a translation that used to happen towards other or towards peripherals, towards several things. So each high-level statement translates to several. So during that case, a high-level language uh, translate to several instructions in the ISA of a computer. If you consider, we just make out with the high-level language. Then, what is the assembly language or as assembly languages? So if you come across assembly languages, so they are lower level, closer to what? Closer to again instruction set architecture. So they are closer to ISA, but level wise, if you consider lower level and very ISA dependent. So whatever the instruction or whatever the instruction set architecture if you consider, so they are very less dependent with the ISA. So each instruction specifies a single ISA instruction and and they are makes low level programming more user friendly if you consider assembly languages. So uh, if you consider a few more things with respect to assembly language, more efficient code by using assembly language like that. So assembly syntax wise, if you consider each assembly line begins with either a label, a black tab, and asterisk if you consider asterisks or as a semicolon. So each line has four fields: label one, whatever the mnemonic that is there with the operand at present what you are seeing in this slide, and there will be a comment at present comment operand list and whatever the other semicolon is the things that you are seeing it here. Tab like label is nothing but a tab and asterisk based mnemonic operand list used to make out it then comment. So this is each line if we consider this code has four fields label mnemonic in that operand list then comment like that. Then some line examples they are just shown here below. At present, if you connect dot select or system like that, data space they used to make out and variable one where that dot go to that is the variable they just consider with the where one declaration that is nothing but then a text format program space then loop you just get counter like that and finally ending process that used to happen. So the two lines of examples if you consider how they used to write in assembly language like that if you consider. So as just if you specify there will be a label, there will be a mnemonic and there should be an operand and finally at the end you should have what we should have a comment like that. Symbols and labels. This I will cover. We'll just have a 5 minutes break like that, and we'll come back within a 5 minutes.
Manchester,
Yeah,
when you
ma'am.
will
So,
start 3:15, no?
no,
Till 3:15 break.
no, ma'am. Actually, I just now they gave around 5 minutes break, ma'am. Actually, 3:08 to
I can't
3:05
hear
and
you.
3. Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, madam. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
No, 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 no. I do not apologize. Yeah.
Dear participants, we
No,
request
no.
you to please attend all the sessions regularly. Only filling of the feedback form, we cannot provide you the attendance. We are noting down the attendance from the Google Meet also. So we request you to please log in for all the sessions because we have to enter the attendance in the Atal portal. Based on an attendance and test marks only, you will be awarded with the certificate. It's a kind request. Please log in regularly.
So I left out with the assembler syntax. As we know, each line of assembler is line if you consider, you'll be having four fields in that, as I told, label, mnemonics, operand list, and comment like that. For example, whatever example we have seen previous to display. Then symbols and labels, if you consider symbols, actually whatever symbols they used to call it as the labels, they are used as labels, constants, and substitution values. Then symbols are stored in a symbol table. Uh, there will be a symbol name for that. So if a symbol name is a string of up to 200 alphanumeric character, so it will be from A to Z, capitals, small, 0 to 9 numbers, special characters like that. It used to consider a string of up to 2000 alphanumeric characters. And a symbol name cannot contain embedded blanks like that. So if we are having any embedded blanks, it should not have. And the first character cannot be a number, and should not be. The symbol name is what it is a case sensitive, as we know. So we need to take care of almost these things during assembling or whatever they used to make up with assembly language compared with the high level later. Then label field, if you consider whatever label fields you are having, again they should be what labels are. They should be symbols, and labels must begin in a column 1, and label can optionally be followed by colon. There should be a colon at present, whatever the syntax mnemonics, whatever they are having, they should be followed by what? They are followed by colon. And the value of a label, if you consider, is a current value of a location counter or address within that program. So we need to keep that label field, whatever they used to call it as. And the value of a label is a current value at present, as I told, of a location counter or as address within a program. You are trying to write for that. So the value of label is the current value of location. And a label on a line by itself is a valid statement. If you just make out a valid a label on a line by itself, that will be what valid statement. And a label used locally when a file must be what? When a file must be unique. So these are few things actually. They used to refer with symbols, labels like that. Then next to this, we are having mnemonics, also operands. So mnemonic also field mnemonic we used to make out with the mnemonic field follows the label field. The mnemonic field cannot start in colon 1, so it does, it is what it is interpreted as a label. So the mnemonic field contains at present you are having the instruction mnemonics like that. If you consider MSP 430 like that, so if you consider these kinds of MSP 430 instruction mnemonic, it will be you will be having mnemonic fields like R, U, jump like LED, MOV, JMP. Then assembler directives, we will be having the mnemonic field that used to contain with assembly directives, that is a data, a list, and equalizing like that. You will be having dot data, dot list, dot EQ, like that. Then macro directive, if you consider, there is a thing but a macro variable next it like that. Then a macro call, you are having a mnemonic field that used to contain one of the following item macro call. So like this, that they used to vary with the mnemonic field. Then operand field wise, if you consider, the operand field follows a mnemonic field and contains one or more operands like that. And the operand field is what? The operand field is not required for all instructions or directives. The operand may consist of symbol, constant, expression. How they, while writing actually, they used to matter. So symbol, constants, expression, combination of constants and symbols, even if you consider expressions during the third case. So that is the operand field, and operands are separated with the commas if you consider with the operand field. This is nothing but what symbols, labels, mnemonic or operands. Then the third one, assembler directives, if you consider. Assembler directives, as we know, are used to specify a starting address for a program, or else starting values for memory locations, or specifying the end of a program text, if you consider initially what directives we are having it here. So they are nothing but what at present what you are seeing it eqview and .bss .sec .word .end like that. They almost they used to make out with the directives. They are nothing but as we told, they used to make out if you consider addressing for a program at present what program you are having towards the right side. That is nothing but where the reset, the program reset that used to happen. There is a .txt. Then initialization after that used to happen with the 0x to whatever the address location with the SP. Special pointer with then a space set marked out intervals. What used to that used to make out with. So at present, if you consider .txt, there's a program reset will happen. Then ISR counter, if you consider as architecture-wise, if you consider, so how they used to make out with this programming assembly directives. So you will be having addressing for a programs or as a value of memory locations if you consider end of programs if you consider you will be having directives. Current location of counter also they show here. Then assembly code examples if you consider. So labels, directives, commands, instructions like that, how they used to make out like that. One example we can see here. So instructions like SP if you consider with address and a label they just name it as a reset. So on how they used to make out was where they used to make out the initializing whatever the stack pointer you were having. Uh, uh, then after that, if you just make out with Mac timer interrupt service routine, if you consider with the comments, so that they just made out also comment they are given with this assembly code example. And directives dot sec if you consider dot sect if you consider MSP 430 as we see them. Resets that is nothing but resetting the vector. Whatever the dot into 10 they just made out with. So like this, it used to happen also code used to have label, directives, instruction sets, comments, and if you come across our coding, they used to what they used to match with, or else these are specifically they just used to mention with the help of this only what program you are having, what instruction you are having, what program you are having with whatever instruction sets and what assembler they used to link with. So almost all these things they are very important and the common assembler directives accordingly after this we can just see here .bss is nothing but symbol size in byte along with what used to make out whatever the mnemonics and syntax wise if we consider alignment. The description for this .bss if we consider reserves size bytes in .bss. Similarly, dot select if you consider selection name assemblers into what into named section and similarly .txt if you consider essence into a .txt as an executable code that used to make calls that used to be selected. Then dot by value that is nothing but initializing one or more successive bytes in the current section. Dot string if you consider as we know strings initializing one or more text strings. Then a word also word value if you consider for that. So initializing one or more 16-bit integers. Then dot aligns the LC on a boundary specified by size in bytes and must be what power of 2 and default to what to word is a 2 byte like that and dot if we consider a symbol. So identifies one or more symbols that are defined in the current model and that can be what that can be used in other models. So almost if you want to what minimize whatever this size of code that is there and dot include they are nothing but what including a source statement from another file a file name with the help of present what you are seeing with the mnemonics and syntax. So include with the file name then a dot reference symbol and a comma of whatever the things that used to make out from symbol. So identifies one or more symbols used in the current model that are defined in another model. So with the help of that, it used to make out also identifies one or more symbols that has to be used in the current models like that. Then symbol dot if you consider dot eq value, so equates value with the symbol. Similarly, the next one dot set value if you consider equates a value with the symbol Then similarly, the last two, if you consider DECLS, there is an option for file shares C headers between C and assembly code, and dot end if mnemonic also syntax like this, and you will be having end of that program. So like that, you will be having so many mnemonics and syntax. The few simple ones actually. So we have just considered to show how the common assembler directives they used to look like, and how if you just proceed with assembly code examples, and what all you will be having it in label directives and instructions comments if you consider, along with what directives and what others like as I told, in similar syntax wise, if you consider, we used to have a label, new operand, then mnemonics like that, similar directives along with. So next, we'll be moving with the embedded system or as a C programming. C programming part or as a embedded system, how they used to operate in C, embedded C like that. So before that, again, C is very important. Almost embedded C and C both are almost equal. So we need to what we need to assign also we need to consider few cases actually according to programming where you are planning to program. If you are planning with embedded system, whatever the open source we are having like IDE for Arduino, if you consider integrated development environment for IDE. We need to what we need to assign also we need to define few things initially, then what all pins you are using also. Initially, which all pins are used for as analog or as a digital, which all pins are used as input, which all pins are used as output, like that. You need to what you need to specify it also. You need to include if there are any you want to include any files which are not there in a library, and you need to assign pin numbers input whether they are output like that. Then almost after assigning we need to what we need to according to application and what type of application and what type of sensors you are using, you need to write C code that should be in a group like that you need to have. So for that embedded system or as a C programming, why only this single or as a embedded system or as a embedded system that used to be operated with the C programming if you consider? Here there are so many things actually we need to consider. What embedded system, why C programming, like that. Few concepts actually we have given here. So as we know, C embedded systems or the C programming wise, if you consider as C programming language is they have the most popular programming language for programming embedded system, and most C programmers are what aspire because they program in an environment and where not only is the standard library implementation, but there's a frequently a number of other libraries available for use because see at present alternative to as we see with embedded C, if you see with embedded C. So again, a few things they used to add is they used to aspire because of a programming environment, into the development environment parts they used to come. And no doubt, the cold fact is about embedded system. There are rarely many of libraries that programmers have grown used to. But occasionally, what happens, an embedded system might not have a complete standard library. If there is a standard library for that, we have just moved towards that. But because of that shortage and whatever they used to make out, even the most popular, if you consider C, so we are planning to be just proceeding with the present. So few embedded systems have a capability of for a dynamic linking. So if a standard library functions are to be available at all, they often what need to what directly link into executables with the help of embedded C if you consider. And oftentimes, because of space concerns, it is not possible to link an entire library file. And the programmers are what often forced to give their own standard C library implementation. So if they want to use them at all. So while some libraries bulky, not well suited for use of microcontroller if you consider. So many development systems still include standard libraries, which are the most common for C programmers as a C if you consider. Like this in this embedded system, C remains a very popular language for microcontroller developers due to code efficiency and a reduced overhead and development time. and C offers a lower level control and is considered more readable than assembly. So I think C, because of their popularity, we can just tell that C offers lower level control and is what is considered more readable than assembly. So many free C compilers are available for a wide variety of development platform because if you just make out with the C compilers, they are almost open source if they are. Then it is very easy for us to what it is very easy for us to download, install, and implementation. We can whatever the according to codes that is there in C. So with the help of this popular language, we can implement or we can write code. So many free C compilers are available for a wide variety of development platform, and almost if I as I used to tell, like the IDE development and also integrated development environment for this Arduino, if you consider that is almost a flip top now, and even the boards, all this external hardware, whatever boards you are having, and application based peripherals, also sensors, if you consider, even they are available. So with the help of this, we can just we can build our own project according to technology. So it helps to move. So like by considering these kinds, so many free C compilers are available for a wide variety of development platforms. And the compiler are what the compiler are part of IDEs with ICD support and whatever the support they used to get from ICD support, breakpoint, serial stepping, and assembly window, like that they used to get support. The performance of the C compilers has what improved considerably in recent years. If you consider recent years, even the whatever they used to make out with, or else the improvement that has to happen, almost that happened with if we consider recent years, and they are claimed to be more or less good as assembly, depending on who you ask. Or else, they used to depend on what they are just performing. And most tools now offer options for customizing the compiler optimization. Additionally, using C that used to increase portability, since C code can be compiled for different types of processors. Then, if we just proceed with the special features, so C language is a standardized, and there are a certain number of operators available that everybody knows and loves. So, however, many microprocessors, if you consider, have capabilities that the C compiler may not make use of, and C compilers may produce less efficient machine code than a hand written assembly language. So, for instance, both 8051 and PKP consider microcontroller have assembly instructions for directly setting and checking individual bits within a byte. If you want to check out the 8051 and microcontroller have assembly instructions for directly setting and checking individual bits within a byte. So C program can be what written to affect bits individually using bit feed, but the resulting machine code output from a compiler, if you consider, may not be as fast as a bit at the time machine operations on some microprocessors what we used to consider. And C remains a very popular language for microcontroller. It's embedded C, that what's the few modifications what are just made of it. So developers, due to what? Due to code efficiency and reduced overhead and development time. So we are just considering the code efficiency wise. If you consider as reduced overhead, if you consider as developmental time wise, if you consider, so C remains a very popular language. Then even it offers a low level control and is considered more readable than assembly. So many free C compilers are available for a wide variety of development in our platform. So we need to proceed also. We need to look. The compilers are part of IDE. Sorry, I just want to make out one more key with a C. So even if you consider function wise, C, if you consider, may return a result caller or one or more arguments may be passed to the function procedure wise if you consider. And as we know, function or as a declaration wise, if you consider, so you are having so many things here in this function definition. You are having a type of a value to be returned to the caller, or as a parameters passed to the caller, like that. If I just make a function definition, local variable, function body, return the result, like that. So if you consider function definition and function arguments, will be having so many things to be identified by passed by value, passed by reference, or else value addresses are typically passed to the functions by pushing them onto a system stack, like that. It used to happen with the help of this. Then we need to consider a few more things while writing, as I told. Structures, or else a while loop structure, switch statement wise, if you consider, and a do while loop structure wise, if you consider, do while with whatever the codings they used to write with, for loop wise, if you consider. So there are so many actually codes we have to write, and we need what we need to fetch towards required application coding. So with this, almost covered programming in assembly and embedded C. By embedded C and programming in assembly, how that used to happen, and if you consider a few basics before, why you just want to make out, and addressing modes, what are the types of addressing modes, like that. Then memory organization, the memory, how they used to make out, also memory wise, if you consider how they organize, then the microcontroller architecture. So microcontroller architecture is like that. We covered few things. So these all things are actually basic. At present, what we are planning to handle next few sessions, if you consider session next session after 2-3 sessions. So session number 8, like that, if you consider, that is the hands-on session. So during that case, if we just make out with at present considering a C programming or as embedded C concepts, if you consider, like a switch statement or as a loop statement or as a if-else statement, like that, why to use those kinds and what will happen, or else in a loop, what if you just make out, and how to identify, how to define, like almost all these cases we are just going to make out here in this hands-on session, because almost whatever the software requirements and whatever the coding requirements that is there, most importantly we are having it here in this session 8. So this is a brief idea with embedded C and C programming assembly language, like that. Then almost covered few basics. Tomorrow there is one more session left out with. There they are the resource person. They are just planning to cover few more things regarding these basics. So after that, we'll slightly move with hands-on sessions later. If you are having any doubts, let me know.
Are we closing the session?
No, ma'am. If you are having any doubts, hello. Hello, can you hear me, ma'am? Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you, Mantesh.
Okay, no, ma'am. If they want any coding part, so that I can explain to them. If they are having any queries related to this, then I will close this. And if they want, I will just will show a few things like how to write coding and the processing how they used to make out with the Arduino based IDE developmental environment part. It is a software, no, ma'am, software based.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I just want to know whether. Can I proceed, or how much time is there, ma'am? Still?
You can still go on, no? It's 3:40.
Okay.
Another half
Okay.
you can take, not an issue.
Okay, madam, then fine.
Are we giving them any software to keep it ready with them for tomorrow's
ma'am.
session?
Tomorrow. At
You'll
present-
share that link.
Okay, ma'am. That link I will share it to you. That anyhow open source software. Then.
No, you can also share it in the group. You are there, no, Mantesh.
Okay, madam. Okay, okay.
You yourself can share, I think tomorrow afternoon session they may be needing it, no? Middle
Yeah, ma'am.
session and
And
afternoon session.
yeah, ma'am. And those who are planning it for hardware, no, along with the hardwares and all, those who are planning to use, they can use it actually. So they can bring those
Okay, okay.
components and they can keep it in front of them. So we'll explain. So initially at present, what we are planning, ma'am, we are planning to proceed with Arduino, with some just basic microcontroller. Hello.
Yeah, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just a moment, 1 minute. So tomorrow's brief part, I'll just let you know. So tomorrow there is a hands-on session, ma'am. Actually, daily, if we just consider with the eighth session, so basics, a few more basics, as I told, like SFR, special function registers, like that. If you consider counters like that, there are few things actually they will be covered by one more resource person, Dr. Manjuna. Then after their session, I'm going to handle. So in this session, we are having hands-on session. Here we are going to cover with the programming language like Arduino. We have just considered it because Arduino is an open source, and even if you consider microcontrollers, what are they are using it for? So they almost all sensors that can be interfaced easily and application wise if you consider. So prototype application wise if you are planning to make certain projects. As of now we are seeing it, okay, and gesture based or as a Bluetooth based or else what, just to display few things. Uh, what type of projects you are having? Or else to display few things, we need what? We need LCD to make it almost whatever the interfacing that should happen. We need to move ahead with these kinds of at present, whatever the open source softwares are there, especially for embedded systems. If you are just planning to make it in a broad mind, just try to proceed with at present what you are having with open source like Arduino IDE and programming. Once if you are familiar with the Arduino, then we can proceed with the take. Again, the coding again it used to differ. Everywhere if you consider PIC, if you consider or as Raspberry Pi boards, if you consider so many actually. So almost Python programming, if you know, you can code it in Raspberry. If you know embedded C properly, so you can code it in Arduino or else Arduino similar based families. Then if you know some other languages, C, C++, like that, even they used to support, and VLSI, almost those kinds of, they used to make with whatever the FPGA boards, what you're having it. So there are so many things actually, even DSP processors like that. So as of now, Arduino IDE and programming. In this Arduino IDE programming, you will be having open Arduino software that is available in Arduino.cc. That link I will send you by today itself. So it is very easy for you to just upload and install it in your laptop. Then programming. There are so many types of programmings we need to consider for this Arduino. Even as I told you, not only a switch case, not only a loop, or else not only assigning, or else not only including whatever the files you need to include. Apart from that, you are having so many which model you are using, like a thumb impression, fingerprint thumb impression by Adafruit. If you consider one example, I'm telling you. So if you consider those kinds of models, those kinds of sensors, we need to use their specifications and what baud rate that used to operate for. We need to have almost all these ideas. So if you are planning to interface fingerprint sensor, whether that is operating with a higher baud rate, then it may not support what Arduino board you are having. So even baud rate and whatever the components you are using, so what is the operating range and how they use to operate like that, you need to know first. So like that, we'll just let you know few concepts. We'll be having around 10 plus sensors. If possible, I will bring almost around 10 plus sensors. Like as if you see application based sensors like smoke sensors. If you are having any kinds of sensors, you can keep along with you. And you want coding or else if you want any help or assistance, that can be done. So 10 plus types of sensors maybe what, then there might be a smoke sensor if you consider. Again in smoke sensors you are having the methane like LPG like some different kinds of sensors, but only one sensor based on smoke will study.
Your screen is not visible. Are you sharing anything?
No ma'am, I'm not sharing. Huh?
Okay.
I'm visible, no ma'am. Hello. The slides are not I think.
No.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Come on. I had not pinned you.
No, okay. No, anyhow, I'm not sharing because tomorrow's session, no, there will be hands-on, no. If they're having any components with them, so tell them to just keep it, all those things ready. And if they want any assistance, I can help them. So like that, types of sensors, if you consider, as I told, smoke sensor, as I told, then a temperature sensor, there's nothing but LM35 like that sensor, you can just make of it. Then distance calculation that used to happen with the help of ultrasonic sensor. So that kind of sensors can be used. Then if you want to make or as a heartbeat, if you are planning to measure during that case a heartbeat measuring sensor will come. So then IR sensor. So IR sensors used to transmit light during certain kinds of applications where movement of robotics that used to happen, or as some application purpose where you are planning to make out with. Even ultrasonic also no doubt distance-based application that you can make out. So almost each and every types of sensors what we are using here. Temperature sensor if we consider. So it will be having its own specification. Okay, it used to assign temperature. If it exceeds that temperature, okay, it has to what? It has to rotate our laptop fan what you're having. If, I think one application we can just do the here itself. So if the temperature exceeds, automatically fan should rotate. Then if whatever the things with respect to ultrasonic, if you consider, if it reaches towards that point or is near to that point, with that range, with the 20 range. So after coming with the 20 range or is after reaching with the wall, like or is near to the wall, it should stop or is what working that is doing. So that should be stopped. So like that, you are having different kinds of application-based projects we can implement with the help of these kinds of whatever open source software and programming what we are having along with the boards. Not only this Arduino, what we are planning. We are planning because it is a basic thing and we will understand easily. So even we can just proceed with Python coding. Even we can proceed with the Raspberry Pi or else most of open source what they just used to offer. Almost that can be realized even in Raspberry Pi. Even the Raspberry Pi is what there is, as I told, there is a SoC system on chip actually. You are having every peripherals for that. So if you want to interface camera, you can directly interface camera. Even if you want to store things in your pen drive, just make a or else abstract from whatever ports you are having USB ports. Almost 0 to there are so many almost or sorry Raspberry Pi 4 plus they just launched. So almost if you consider 340 Raspberry Pi, so they almost have to support with USB and camera, whatever the HDMI that is there, HDMI connector that is there, and LAN connectivity what you are giving. So they used to what they just configured to higher end if you consider Raspberry Pi boards. So they just configured in the higher end. So even they used to support all these kinds of. So initially we just proceed with the Arduino IDE development and programming and interfacing with a few things like as I told LED, LCD interfacing and various types of sensors smoke sensor, LM35 if you consider, ultrasonic if you consider, IR if you consider, then heartbeat sensor if you consider. So a few more will let you know tomorrow. Then how to make out like the DC motor if you consider there are two types of motors actually, gate DC motors and EO DC motors like that. So what is the difference between that those things we will just let you know tomorrow. Then stepper motor how to work with the stepper motor if you just consider. And DC motors if they used to operate with 12 volt. Here major thing is about actually whatever the operating voltage that you are planning with, whether they are all operating with the 5 volt like that. Because as we know, if you consider controller, you that is a 5 volt, and whatever sensor you are having that is a 12 volt like that, again it will be a problem for you. No? So we need to go. If specifically if I consider DC gate motor, we need to what? We need to use a motor driver to operate a DC gate motors, because the DC gate motors, gate DC motors, if you consider, they used to operate with 12 volt, so 5 volt can't be sufficient to will not be sufficient for us to run. So because of that, we need to have a driver, there's a motor driver, that might be a H bridge like that. So we need to proceed with these kinds of motor driver, and to run these kinds of DC motor, one, two, like, and stepper motor. Again, stepper motor, you are having different types of stepper motors, whether they are operating with a 5, 6, 5, 9, 12 like that, 5 volt, 9 volt, 12 volt like that, and how much, or else whatever the rotation that used to happen, you want to stop for 60 degree, you want to stop for 90 degree, you want to stop for 180 degree, 0 to 180 degree. So they all are application based. So we need to use when to apply. So that you should know. And at present, trends wise, if you consider present trend, if you consider, there might be a node microcontroller. They used to operate with the Wi-Fi node. So even we can make out us, even we can build almost all projects IoT based trendy, because almost whatever the applications they used to enhance with, they're enhancing with only IoT, and updated. If you just make out within few days, artificial intelligence concepts like that, they used to make towards market. So almost like this artificial intelligence based, or it's IoT based, or it's application specific based, if you consider the latest one. So what advanced features we need to have it in that part, so that we need to know, then we need to proceed with those kinds of applications. So if you're having any doubts, you can just ask me, or else we'll proceed tomorrow itself by considering whatever coding we are having in programming of this Arduino IDE and interfacing units. Madam?
Yes, Mantesh.
As of now, I will end, madam, actually.
Okay,
I think,
okay.
almost few of them almost they are left, I think so. So,
Yeah, not an issue, ma'am.
okay,
Not an
okay,
issue.
okay, madam, then fine then.
Participants, do you have any queries? You can ask if you have any queries. Otherwise, we can end for today. I thank Dr. R. Mahantesh Chaudhary for sharing his views about the basic knowledge of the microcontroller architecture, organization, and addressing modes. We look forward for his interaction for tomorrow's session, which will be a hands-on session. And as suggested, sir will be sharing the URL for downloading the freely available software, where some part of it can be done, but because of no hardware availability with the participants, he will be demonstrating it from his end. We invite any suggestions to be improved. Participants, you are giving us the feedback, but you want us to adopt some changes, you can always tell us, put it in the chat box, or you can put it in the WhatsApp group. If you want any changes from the organizing group, kindly suggest us. We welcome all your suggestions. So shall we wind it up? Okay, Mantesh, then we'll wind up as there is
Okay, madam. Thank
somebody
you.
is
Thank you.
responding. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you for your response.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.